Okay. You're going to have to speak up some.
I speak loud enough. I hope I don't get ticks on me. I can
You
just
don't get ticks. You get ticks.
I can just feel them. All right, go.
Okay. Okay, Miss Kitty and Idaho Hillbilly sent us a 10-question challenge about the zombie apocalypse quarantine. So, usually I don't like these things, but this gives us an excuse to do something up here. We haven't been up here very much. We did get a bear bait out, but it's only been out for 2 days. Nothing's found it yet. So, anyway, how many rolls of toilet paper do we have at this moment?
Well, right here, none, but at home.
We don't have any here.
But at home, probably a dozen, but they're kind of a double roll, so would you call that 24? I don't know.
15, say.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the biggest change since the lockdown?
I don't think anything for us. We're pretty much the same.
Us personally, probably nothing really. I mean, we don't really get out very much except around people anyway, except for the fairgrounds. We've only been allowing 10 people or less, and none of the big events are happening, and the horse sale didn't happen. So that's been a big change. And she's been helping a lady cleaning some carpets, and they haven't been very busy with that either.
No, it's been somewhat slow, but as far as change, I don't think so.
So what state or province do we live in?
We live in Idaho.
Idaho. What have we gone without lately?
You know, I really can't think of anything. A paycheck.
Yeah, money, but that's normal for us. Gone without, I really don't think of anything other than, I don't know, well, really nothing.
No.
What are you most grateful for?
Just for everything. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, even the littlest things. It's been great that I haven't had to work a lot, in one sense, because here comes the dog with his stick.
No, Hager, no. You're going to knock the camera out.
I love listening.
He wants us to throw this.
Yeah. I think the grateful for is just hearing the birds in the morning singing and stuff like that. You know, you should be grateful for the little things, they say.
Yeah, there's really nothing I'm not grateful for. I mean, look at this. How can you not be grateful? I mean, we're not sick. We don't know anybody that's sick. None of our family is. There's really nothing to be ungrateful for. We got food and got these mangy mutts. I'm not sure. Maybe we shouldn't be grateful for them.
There's the coronavirus.
Okay, so what do you miss the most?
The only thing I will say I kind of miss is there's a really cool secondhand store called Rags and Wags. All of the stuff is donated, and when you buy stuff, it's pretty much dirt prices. When you buy the stuff from there, all the money goes back to support the animal shelter, whether it's to buy food. They have a spade and neutering program for the animals. So all that goes back there. I think I kind of missed going in there because the people there are wonderful. We've made some really good friends. Mostly, as we call it, the little old ladies work there, and I kind of miss seeing them. They have open now, but you have to go in through the front door and you have to wear a mask. And I'm just not really into that, so...
We'd rather avoid people, but generally, I guess we could say we've gone without that, because generally we go in there almost every day and look around, and we don't always buy something, but you can get things amazingly cheap, and most of it's pretty good stuff because it's donated for the animal shelter and to feed the dogs and cats, and they don't really send in junk for the most part. And shoot, you can get stuff from anywhere as low as a nickel on up to 20 or 30 bucks, and the higher price stuff is really not that common. The prices are good, and it's a fun place to go.
They do get some every now and then. Somebody donates cool furniture. I've bought into antique. They call them a grandmother clock because they're not really tall, and stuff like that. By the way, this dog is named Cora, so of course we call her the Cora virus.
Yeah. She's kind of a knucklehead, but he's a pretty good dog. Okay, so number 7. How long has it been since you've been at a campsite? Well, generally, because of our job, we don't get a chance to go camping very often. And normally we only go Labor Day weekend. Maybe once or twice if we can get away before that. But so since Labor Day, September, we don't really go to campsites, though. We just go up in the woods and find a spot and try to get away from people as best we can. So what is your favorite quarantine food?
I don't know. Does it have to be a food product?
Well, it says quarantine food.
I don't really know because, like I said, it really hasn't changed all that much for as far as our cooking. I mean, we haven't really gone without. We have bought in these little, they're not little, frozen pizzas that we found out they're reasonably priced. So maybe something like that. But as far as food goes, I mean, I always cook from scratch anyway. I mean, I start with basic things, and we do have meat in our freezer, not only deer and elk, but we are fortunate enough to have a whole cow, and I have a friend that
does,
and a pig. So as far
as you can see, I'm not going without meals. And,
no.
But one thing I've been eating a lot of lately, and mainly just because it's quick and easy, but they're really pretty good, is the chili flavored ramen noodles. If you haven't had those are pretty tasty, especially if you add jalapenos to them.
So really, I don't know, not really anything. Maybe, like he said, he likes the chili ramen noodles. I really don't. I don't know. I think those pizzas are okay.
The pizzas are really pretty good. Those I think they call them Crazy Mikes or something like that.
Wild Mikes.
What is it?
Wild Mike.
Wild Mikes. Those are pretty good pizzas, and shoot, they're not that much money. $6-7 on sale. Oh, okay. So what are we doing for exercise? How are you exercising doing workouts?
Well, that that hasn't really changed because like I said, we were up here, and then every day, if I don't go to work, I walk the dogs on the fairgrounds in the morning and in the evening, and from our house all the way around the fairgrounds and back is exactly 1 mile. But that's an everyday occurrence, so I don't know if people would consider working out, lifting weights, or whatever.
Yeah, we don't normally do that, but on a normal year, when the fairgrounds is open, there's a lot of walking around down there, and we're afoot a lot, and it's a mile loop down and around. We probably do that 4 or 5 times a day on average if we're, if it's busy. But this year was kind of different. Because we moved our trailer house out and put a new one in, I didn't trap as much as normal, and so I missed that exercise, and I feel it too. I need to get out and hike the hills a little bit more. And with this lockdown, I should be up looking for some antlers or something, but there's still stuff to do at the house. We've been tearing out fences and painting fences and putting up fences and cleaning corrals, and
we had to redo our lawn, so we put a new basically a new basin. We raked it really good, and then Gary brought the tractor in and basically tilled it, if you want to call it tilled it. Then we got out with the rakes and put manure in it, and then from there, we had to still rake it in, and we used a great looking thing to cover the grass up. So that would be it. Last year I didn't do a garden. This didn't do one. So this year we have one in, and we've been working in that. So
we usually have a pretty big garden, but last year it was just such a late start that it was rainy and snowy, and it just didn't work out. So this year we got an earlier start, and we got a really short growing season here.
Yeah, the last frost date for the seminary is actually June 16th. The first frost date is I think somewhere around the middle of September. I've seen it freeze here at the end of August. So, and last year it worked out because there was a lot of people I know that had gardens that gave us stuff, and I still had stuff in the freezer and stuff like carrots and stuff like that. So it kind of held over for this year, but like I said, we've been really working in that. That's kind of the flip side with me not going to work, even though I generally am home by noon. 1 o'clock. I think the latest I've ever got home from helping her was at 3, but then we went to Challange, which is an hour and a half, more or less, one way. So I've had a little bit more time.
Yeah.
And stuff, and we're utilizing the greenhouse a little bit better. I got tomato plants in there that are already setting blooms, and I do have some of them sold to friends of mine that want it, so I bought some extra plants. So.
Okay, so what was or will be your pandemic panic purchase?
The pandemic panic purchase, Lily girl's growing at something. I don't know what she's looking at. But
she thinks there's something sneaking up to eat us.
Well, it's dog food. We were worried about our dogs, so I guess I would say is that we went out to the place, and our old dog down here that's laying by my feet, he can't have just any dog food. It has to be, for one thing, it can't have any pork in it, and a lot of your dog food does. So I think it was his dog food, and the worst thing is the place we buy it from didn't order enough, so we had to switch him from lamb and rice to chicken and rice, and he does okay on it, but the guy told me they got it back in, so.
He ends up, as strange as it seems, he ends up with ear infections if it's not the right dog food. So he's kind of a picky guy. But he's, what is he, 12, 13 now?
He's 12 he'll be 13 this coming fall.
13.
So.
And then Lily and Cora here, they're both 4 years old. So I would say it was that we were worried about our animals. We also bought a little bit more chicken food for our chickens and stuff, even though now more of the grass has come up, so I'm not feeding them so much of the layer mix because I'm letting them more or less free range. But it was the dog food because I was worried about Hager. And one thing that we generally do, and I mean, I guess we're not really preppers, but maybe we are somewhat, is we always try to keep our freezers full, and we always have a 5-gallon bucket each of beans, rice, sugar, and flour. And the beans and rice, after a while, get kind of stale, and so we let those dwindle down to next to nothing, if not nothing, and that was a mistake because there isn't any to be had, and we finally found some beans. A 20-pound sack of beans that was $17 is now something like $23. So that kind of irritated me. And we bought a 20-pound bag of rice, and it's been a long time since I bought that, but that was more expensive than I remembered it being too. I don't really remember what it used to be, but it was 20-some also. So.
And usually I'll buy two bags of dog food at a time. He eats, it's called exclusive. He eats that on And the program with it is if you buy 10 or after 10 bags, you get one free. So
Yeah, we're not worried about us starving. We got lots of stuff, but the dogs, they gotta have food. And
yeah.
they eat a lot of our scraps anyway, so I don't think they're going to go without anyhow. But
This Hager, we got
No.
Hager's the only one that we have to watch with his food and his diet. We made the mistake, and we very rarely, well, we never do this. We made the mistake of giving him some rib bones, and that was almost $300 later.
yeah, it plugged him up. Don't give your dogs bones, at least not small ones. Those big knuckle bones are okay, but anything they can break up, it messed him up. We almost lost him.
Yeah, there for a while. I'm pretty sure he was knocking on heaven's door, and the vet that we use, she is a really good vet. I really like her a lot. I actually told her, if you don't think he's going to make it, I don't want him to suffer. You put him
Yeah.
down. And he spent 2.5 days at the hospital with her, and she would, of all things, they kept him pretty well sedated and stuff, and they had to dig it out of his colon. And if you would have seen the x-ray, it was amazing because it was just one big solid thing of bone
Yeah,
fragments.
nothing but bones that didn't belong to him.
Yeah. So, yeah,
So,
don't give your dog, she told me the knuckle bones are okay, but for Hager, he doesn't get any bones at all. I just worry about him. The other two, the weirdest thing is these two were fine, but he wasn't,
So, the part you've been dreading. Who gets tagged next and has to do this? Or, you don't have to do it, but who is supposed to do it? Dave Morelli at Morelli's Tactical Advantage. Lever Guns 50. I'm really interested to see what he has to say. Mountain Bushcraft Alliance. My Slice of Heaven Outdoors. Chris Gilliam Men's Stuff. That one ought to be interesting. He's got a funny sense of humor. Light 'em Up Outdoors. I'm not so sure he's doing it anymore. I'll have to get after him a little bit. And the Camo Cowboy Outdoors. And we're only supposed to pick 5, but I threw in a couple extra in case somebody doesn't do it. But these questions, I'll put them at the bottom so you can see what they are, and you'll have to go from there. Anyway, hopefully this stuff will be over soon. In Idaho, the stay-home order has been lifted, and things are kind of getting back to normal, although for who knows how long it might flare up again. But right now, things are a little bit more normal. Not restaurants, but the stores are kind of opening up again. I'm not sure about the fairgrounds being a public meeting place, how that's going to work. It's awful strange not having people down there. We've had that job for 17 years now, and this is the first deserted year.
Yeah. Well, it sounded to me, the county commissioners, I think, meet twice a month, so I think they probably have a meeting coming up real soon, and we'll hear what they want us to do. So I guess, in a sense, a good part of it is that we've been able to get a lot of stuff done. I still need to go through and repaint the bathrooms and stuff.
Paint.
She's been helping. So it's been kind of nice without people around.
She plays the Pepe Le Pew's girlfriend and crawls under the rail. She's got paint all over her. So does Cora. Hager's kind of managed to stay pretty clean. But anyway, thank you for watching, and we'll hopefully get a few other people in on this. I'm kind of curious to how this has affected you folks. But if you don't have a pretty place like this, then make do with what you got. I sure like it here. So, anyway, anything else?
You guys have a great evening.
And see you next time. Thanks for watching.
There's monsters out there, Gary.
Something was sneaking up on us.
probably wasn't going to allow him to.
You know what? I'm happy.